my god. No!
Andra's dead. This was no accident.
What happened? Who did this? The city's under attack. Come, there isn't a moment to waste. We won't learn anything standing here. I just hope Quilici is all right.
Something's burning. Doesn't look like the city, but let's make sure no one's hurt.
I can't believe this. All things considered, Fiume Siverno looks undamaged. Surprising when you consider the state of our defenses. Whoever started this fight didn't come prepared to finish it. I will be happy to oblige them. Someone made a dangerous enemy today.
We'll fight them with you, Giada.
They break, they bind us.
I hope everyone is all right. My people settled these lands in the name of freedom. It took 50 years, but our oppressors caught up to us. I hate living in interesting times.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Again and again they strike.
There's the city. Thank goodness. It's good to see home again, if only for a moment. Soon the Rangers will strengthen their defenses. They'll hunt down anyone behind it. I almost pity them.
Me too.
How many thorns must we claw out?
Those bodies are wearing steel Garrote armor. Is this what Alfir was planning?
Over here. I see you avoided the carnage. A few of your countrymen, well, let's say they didn't know any better.
You may have beaten us today, but it's only a matter of time before Emerald Stair bends the knee.
Shut up already. Since the two of you are kin, I thought maybe you could help squeeze some information out of him. What we know is this. The Steel Garrote marched on Emerald Stair. We're pretty sure they wanted to set us to the torch.
And you taught them the error of their ways. Well done.
Just doing my job, same as you. What I don't understand is why they came unprepared. Few soldiers, and even fewer supplies. If the Steel Garrote wanted to start a fire, they sure didn't pack a lot of firepower.
That was you?
Well, that's one question down. I'm sure the governor will want to thank you himself. As for our friend here...
It doesn't matter what you do to me. The living lands will be brought to heel.
Now listen, I am a patient man. But if you don't give us some answers, the envoy here is going to rip you in half. Nice touch. I'm not looking forward to cleaning up the mess. So you can help me by telling us what we want to know.
Your threats are wasted, Kerr. I have nothing to hide. Inquisitor Ludwig gave the order to march on Fior Mesiverno. Her faith takes her deeper inland, or else she would have been at the vanguard. Emerald stares on the precipice of disaster. Crops have failed, the townsfolk are defiant, and it's only gotten worse.
I fail to see how attacking my city helps the situation.
The coast is the only habitable corner in the living lands. We can unite as one people, or let the wilderness take us. What choice do we have? Tradition led this place to its doom. Better that it burn, and the people start again.
That is, without a doubt, the worst justification for a war crime that I have ever heard.
Speaking from experience, people don't usually unite as one after you've attacked their home.
Ludwig tried to hasten the inevitable. Nothing more.
Ah, now that is what I call a thorough confession. What do you want to do with him? As an adherent, I trust you know how to handle it by the book.
Violence is the language of the Steel Garrote. Nothing less will get through to them.
I say throw back the little ones if they're not in a position to do more harm. Besides, he's probably more scared of what'll happen if you don't kill him.
Your call, Envoy. I will see to it myself. Too bad the road to Paradise is in bad shape. Our wagon might hit a bump or two.
As much as I want to rip his soul apart, maybe he's more useful to us alive.
But you can't send me back to Ludwig. Don't you know what she does to people who fail her?
I can't wait to find out. See you around, Envoy. Thanks again.
A fate worse than death, perhaps. But fate nonetheless.
Good call. He's Ludwig's problem. Not worth getting your hands dirty.
All things considered, the damage could have been a lot worse.
What is it you want? An apology?
Yeah. You showed more mercy to the Steel Garrote than I would have. But maybe you're right.
You did right by us. Thank you, Envoy. You did right by us. Thank you, Envoy.
Yeah.
Envoy, I owe you my gratitude, and perhaps an apology. They tell me you're the reason our city is standing. You took care of the Steel Garrote before they could cause any serious damage. I can't imagine what it cost you to stand up to the likes of the Steel Garrote, but we won't forget it. You warned me something like this might happen. At least we had time to brace for it.
No doubt your Inquisitor is aware of what happened here. You've made a powerful enemy.
At least now, you can prepare for the consequences. As for us, we're still standing, but our enemies have little patience for failure.
We agree on one thing. The Steel Garrote have declared war on the living lands.
Call it what you like. This is an invasion of our sovereign territory.
What happened here is no coincidence. Their forces already have an unshakable grip on Paradis. Today marks a notable victory, but we've only bought ourselves time, not salvation. Tell us, what of your research into the Dream Scourge? Assuming our governor wants to hear it.
I may have spoken in haste before.
Pardon?
The very notion that the Dream Scourge had blighted our farms, it was too awful to acknowledge.
Are you being serious right now?
I am. The sanctuary my family built was falling apart on my watch. And I wasn't strong enough to bear it. You must understand. My mother is the Dream Scourge. I hoped against reason that she might recover, but her mind grew as blighted as our lands. To face reality would mean upending my city, throwing order into chaos, and admitting she was truly gone. I'm so sorry, Giada.
Don't waste your apologies on me. This changes nothing between us.
I don't expect your forgiveness, but I will do everything in my power to make this right. Whatever you have to say, I'm ready to hear it.
You want me to do the talking? Very well. The evidence is clear. The Living Lands is on the edge of an ecological disaster, both physically and spiritually. We may know the origin of the Dream Scourge. By following it back to the source, perhaps we can reverse the damage. Now for the bad news. An undiscovered god rests in the heart of this island. Until we know more about its nature, we are powerless to stop it.
But this is madness. When I said I was ready for the truth, I didn't mean... Quilici, tell him it's madness.
Envoy, is it true?
You truly think you can find a god? I said I'd keep an open mind, but this is a bit much.
First the Dream Scourge, then the Steel Garrote, and now, what does this god of yours want us to do? Pray?
This is no time for a theological discussion. Our survival hangs on a knife's edge. We can't remain in Emerald Stair.
But we can return someday. Rebuild your father's legacy. We should relocate to Thirdborn. It's the only settlement that can take us all.
No. I say we go to Paradis.
And I want an explanation.
As long as we are Animancers, the adherents will pursue us to the ends of the earth. Instead, we lay low, hide in plain sight, let them believe we're beaten, and bide our time.
While we hide, the Dream Scourge will tear this island apart. At least in Thirdborn, we can practice animancy freely. We can't gamble with our existence. The political climate of the Living Lands is too dangerous.
Thirdborn has its own problems. Paradis is more secure, but it would mean living under a Diran rule. I don't like our options, but that shouldn't stop us from committing to one.
Thirdborn's full of hardy types. Lots of former soldiers and mercenaries. A rough bunch, but good to have at your back. It's also farther from the Steel Garrote's base of operations. That's where I'd make my stand.
We'll be proud to lend our strength to theirs, as Animancers and as fellow expatriates.
I have my misgivings, but you helped my father leave the Republics. I trust you to help us again. What of you, Envoy? Where does the hunt for the Dream Scourge take you next?
Oh, I do.
Yardsley? Don't tell me you are getting swept up in all of this.
Oh, really? You should know better, darling. Any talk of the Akita, and I will appear. If you're looking for the garden, I can probably lead the way. You're already aware that I'm the foremost Akitan scholar in the Living Lands, and...
Godless scholar, my dear. No one outside of academia uses their proper name.
Ah, right. Layman's terms. Thank you, darling. Well, to make a long story short, I think I can lead you to the garden. 30 years of research, and I think the answer lies in a ruin called Nakukubel, which is in Shatterscarp, so we've got to get there now. Though the city was saved, my research wasn't, which means the Steel Garrote knows just as much as we do. Wait. If they know as much as we do, they know to go to Shatterscarp too. Oh no. I've got to warn Temerity. Meet me in Thirdborn, all right? You can't miss it. It's the only bit of civilization in Shatterscarp, if you can call it that. I'll finish getting ready here and just meet you there.
Ugh, what a whirlwind. God, I love that tiny woman. I would be surprised if your journey were that uncomplicated, but... stranger things have happened.
For what it's worth, I vouch for Yardsley. She's a good friend and a bad influence. Right now, we could use both.
There's a gate to the north, which will take you to Shatterscarp. It's guarded by some of our best rangers. I'll make sure they grant you safe passage. May the gods protect you, Envoy.
Exploring the Living Lands with a friend. What more could I ask for?
Back to Shatterscarp, then.
Giada, thank goodness you're all right. We fought back the Steel Garrote, but I fear all we hurt was their pride. They'll come after us again.
At least now we can prepare. You faced oppression before and lived to tell of it.
Yes, but this flavor of oppression is different than it was in ages past. It has an urgency that frightens me.
I'll give the Steel Garrote something to fear.
You give me hope for the future, Envoy. Thank you.
Are you going to be all right?
Thirdborn will be a good home for our people. Anywhere is safer than Emerald Stair.
Yes, but it's you I'm worried about.
I won't lie to you, Giada. War is a young man's game, and this attack has rattled me to my core. I hope that I live long enough to see peace return to the Living Lands. That is all.
There will be peace again. Somehow.
Then I have hope, Envoy.
Don't be a stranger. I'm still your apprentice after all.
Oh, I beg to differ. You have taken your education places I cannot follow. Be well, Giada.
Nowhere in the Living Lands is safe.
Trees are tearing at their walls, but they still find time for a good debate.
It's clear to me now. There is a threat in the Living Lands, but it is far greater than the Dream Scourge. You came to us for help, but you repaid it tenfold. I don't know how to repay you for thwarting the attack. There are a lot of memories behind these walls. My only wish is to preserve them. Now, I'm sure you have other matters to attend to in the Living Lands, but let me know if you need anything else. Damn. I assumed they had inside help, but to think it came from one of our own rangers. Tell me, what's your interest in this matter? If she convinced an Adiran envoy to unmask an Adiran spy, clearly I'm not paying her enough. I appreciate the warning. If more Adirans were like you, maybe we wouldn't have to worry about the Steel Garrote. Tell me, what do you need?
Envoy, thank you again for your confidence.
Your defenders successfully defeated a small Adiran attack force. One Adiran prisoner sits alone in a Fiorian cell.
Be safe out there.
I only carry this.
I'll wait here. Take your time. I've seen enough of this place for one lifetime.
Ado! Welcome to my fine establishment, I mean.
What have you found?
They call themselves the Akita. They worship this strange child.
Woodika will be displeased to hear it.
Woodika is never pleased. That is all I have. The rest is none of my concern.
Still, you refuse to take sides. This affects you too, you know.
I admit my sympathy. A group of exiles, a forbidden faith. But the Queen's tenuous favor, yes, compelling indeed.
How could such a creature even come to be? Our ignorance may have consequences.
I agree, though I will say this. The Queen may have her motives. Sometimes standing idly by is greater subterfuge than action.
I hope this does not force all our hands.
There. Adds a little culture to the camp, doesn't it? Is it just me, or does the night seem darker here? If you get up in the night, don't wander too far.
Envoy, it's clear that no matter what happened, these people couldn't stay in Fior. Just not sure you did the right thing. These people won't survive long in a place like Thirdborn. Thirdborn is a rough town. They literally do their business inside the skeleton of a Leviathan. If you thought Paradise's docks were rough, just wait. Plus, they have a nogfish curry that will peel your tongue. Right, changing the subject. Fine. You've been patient enough, I suppose. Right. Solace isn't an easy place to live. The food is stale and meager. The water tastes like steel and old meat. Everyone knows everyone else. No privacy, no silence, no time to yourself. Solace is a walled keep in the harshest region of the lands. Isolated is an understatement. Honestly, all of that was fine. But there was a peculiar kind of silence I didn't love. Nimdut, I was being dramatic. I have only the faintest memories of my parents, which was fine. I had friends and mentors and trainers and elders. When I asked about my real parents, though, they just told me I was safe now, and that the wardens were my family. I never knew if my parents were alive or dead. I like to assume that they had died fighting some giant monster in the Tusks, but no one would say. When I asked for more, they changed the subject, like I wasn't worthy of a backstory. I mean, I know the important part. I'm from Solace, for whatever that's worth. My oldest memories are of Solace. My oldest friend is from there. Right. You asked. Right. I'm sure you'll find it absolutely gripping. Go ahead. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. As you know, Kai and I have worked together in the past. It's a blessed miracle he never got me killed. Honestly, tell him I said... You too. Envoy? Gods, I can't believe what's happening around here. Fjord was attacked when we weren't looking. It's a miracle it's still there. Admit it. Of course I am. That's people's homes. Giada's home. And farms and so forth. Just because I don't like, or trust, or understand most of the people there doesn't mean I'd like to see it burn. I'm a grouch and a cynic, not a blessed Korba. Right, changing the subject. Not before I've done some reading. Envoy? Until next time.
I knew the Steel Garrote were up to no good.
No one ever plans anything nice in a hidden war camp, do they?
This isn't over, you know. Emerald Stair was just the beginning.
Ominous portents of doom. Need more of those for sure.
We should talk. What happened to Fior Messiverno could have been worse. A lot worse. But that doesn't mean the Living Lands is safe. If anything, it's more dangerous by far. And in my case, it's inevitable. No matter where Animancers go, someone is always trying to kill us. Nothing enrages the gods more than mortals in pursuit of knowledge. Don't worry. I plan to hold the mortals accountable. As many of them as it takes. Listen to me. A failed Animancer lashing out at everything in reach. Even with all the tools at my disposal. I couldn't stop the Dream Scourge. And I couldn't save my people. How do I live up to my family's example when I can't even help myself? Don't take this the wrong way, but you weren't raised by Animancers. Their ambition destroyed our family. Now it falls to me to find meaning in my parents' sacrifice. And I don't know if I can. I have some pondering to do. Let me know if there's anything else. Sending my people to Thirdborn. It's a good arrangement. They get a roof over their heads. The city gets Animancers, and everyone gets along. For once. We should try to harness that goodwill, or replicate it, like an energy source. On the other hand, maybe not. Look, I know you didn't come to this island to help us. And yet you were here when others would have looked away. Despite everything that happened, it means a lot. We all deserve better. But fate decided otherwise. Well, onward to better things. If you need anything, You know where to find me. Not before I've done some reading. I wish I lived in less interesting times. Let me think. Sorry to being an outcast. You want to talk? Let's talk. Well, my future is in shambles, and I have no idea what to do next. Oh, and my home is under attack by the acolytes of an insane witch god. Apart from that, fine. Truthfully, I'm a bit lost. Leaving Fior Messiverno was supposed to be liberating. We've seen and done incredible things, but I'm no closer to finishing my family's work. What I'm up against is much bigger than either of us. Through animancy, I can harness the wild essence of the living lands and put it to good use. But what if I tried, only to have it lash out and destroy me? I'd be no better off than my parents. The dream scourge is infecting our Adra, holding back my work. Until I understand it, until I can control it, I can't do anything. I'm useless. I'm nothing. Let's hope we live long enough to see this garden of yours. Quilici always told me to slow down, to stop and appreciate the land I'm trying so hard to fix. But how can I slow down when I only have one lifetime to get this right? I'll find answers in the garden, for better or worse. I've spilled all the gossip I know. What's on your mind? Go on then. Don't... Not before I've done some reading.
I'd like a word.
Gods.
A moment of your time, if you please. From one Adiran to another. The Inquisitor warned me about this rebellious temperament of yours. You interfered in our plans. Take it from me, Inquisitor Ludwig isn't at all pleased. Perhaps, but your goals are aligned. That's all that matters.
We have nothing in common with the likes of her or you.
Hear me out. That's all I ask. Believe it or not, the Steel Garrote owe you an apology on behalf of Inquisitor Ludwig.
Bring us her severed head and I'll consider it.
That temperament of yours is exactly the problem she's trying to solve. Our soldiers were poised to attack Fior Messiverno. If you had been made aware, you would not have interfered. My intentions exactly. You might not want to admit it, but Fior Messiverno is a settlement in decline. Weak government, chaotic farming, dangerous research. What exactly do you think you saved?
My home, which you have no right to condemn.
You've done nothing but condemn it. Shouting matches with the governor, open defiance.
I fight for my home because I cherish it, you shit-eating worm. Because I want us to survive.
Then I hope you enjoy the consequences of your actions. Fior Messiverno's reliance on animancy and stubborn individualism has done nothing but drag the living lands down with them. Do you care about the stability of the island? Then judge it harshly. Look, I'm only telling you this because you deserve to know Ludwig's intentions for the living lands. If Heelgard cannot maintain a grip on the living lands, then the Steel Garrote will simply take it from him. You see, the Steel Garrote answer to the Burned Queen, not your floundering empire. And we will break from Adir if that's what it takes. Quite the opposite. The Steel Garrote bring reason to a frontier gone mad. Inquisitor Ludwig sees something in you, envoy. She wants to cultivate your potential, as she did mine. You don't want to get between her and the fate of the living land, so let this serve as a warning. Our grasp on this island is going to tighten, even if it costs us allies along the way. Acceptable losses. What you do with this information is up to you, but don't get in our way a second time. It won't end well. Perceptive. Maybe Ludwig was right about you. Before I let you go, a little bird sang in my ear that you're going to Shatterscarp.
Word travels fast.
Of course, that would have been impossible with these meddlesome rangers in the way.
You didn't.
I took the liberty of removing them. It's a shame, really. Honorable folk to the last. Decent men die every day. When you arrive in Shatterscarp, give this letter to Temerity. Compliments of the Inquisitor. No need to keep you any longer. Let's hope our next meeting is under more favorable circumstances. You know, there's a depraved part of me that was hoping you'd make this interesting.
Let's make this a battle to remember.
Sorry it'll be over so quickly then.
I'm with you! Anna!
Watch your right! Quick as a
Coming from the rear. I was just getting warmed up.
You came to Emerald Stair looking for answers, and now we're leaving with more questions. How do we fight the Dream Scourge? What can we do about Sapadal? And where is the garden? Not to mention why the Steel Garrote attacked my fucking home. Then we had better prepare to fight back. We were lucky this time. My people will be on high alert, but that doesn't mean we're safe. The Steel Garrote are hunting anyone who doesn't conform to their vision of the living lands. Our freedom is on the line.
So on top of the Dream Scourge rotting your fields and turning kith and beast alike into monsters, now we've got a Death Guard Inquisitor and the Steel Garrote dogging our steps. Do you think Ludwig will try something similar in Thirdborn? Then she better come prepared. Thirdborners are a rugged bunch, and they don't give ground. Lots of Rawatayans, scramble routes with no prospects back home, washouts from military or mercenary life, sailors in search of steady ground. Add to that a motley assortment of pirates, free spirits, and people who like living under the loosest grasp of the law, and you've got Thirdborn. But rumor has it something's amiss in Shatterscarp. Strange dreams, disappearances. People wandering into the desert and never returning, or coming back, changed. Their bodies and minds twisted, corrupted. Some confused and disoriented like Belena, others violent like Adelaro.
At least that tells us we're on the right track. This Dream Scourge is one of the weirdest things I've ever tried to hunt. Don't look at me. Ask the voice in your head.
Everything we learned in Naku Tadek points us to the garden. Thirdborn is just a stepping stone. But we don't know anything about the garden. It could be a myth or a metaphor. Whatever the garden is or isn't, it's our only lead. We find the garden, we find the Dream Scourge. Yardsley is a master of the unknown and the unknowable. No mystery eludes her for long. If there is a path to the garden, Yardsley can lead us to it. I'd follow her anywhere.
Or maybe that god poking around your soul could give us directions.
Ask for directions? Why didn't I think of that? Kai, that's brilliant. Whatever Sapadal tells us will be filtered through a lot of metaphysical noise, but it couldn't hurt to try. This is so exciting. Sapadal? It's Giada. Giada Castel. If you're listening, could you please tell us more about the garden?
Castel. Castel. Why does this name sing to us? A voice through murky water. The garden stifles the notes. We cannot reach. The branches bind.
Did you get anything? What? No. They must have confused me with someone else. Clearly your link to Sapadal isn't as strong as it was in Naku Tadek, but I'll take it over nothing.
I'll pass. I've heard too many ghost stories that start this way.
Right. If I wanted to waste time, that's what I carry a flute for.
Just me then? Really? No one else has a question for the god of the living lands? Fascinating.
So let me see if I got this straight. We're looking for the garden, which might not exist. Our best lead is Yatsley, an eccentric scholar who's gone ahead to Thirdborn, where the Dream Scourge may be ravaging.
Don't look at me. I was fine going back to Paradise.
Listen, I hate to ask this, but while we're in Shatterscarp, there's something I need to do. Something I owe Tama. There's an old battlefield near some Pogrunan ruins. Area called the Shark's Teeth. Tama lost his badge there. I need to get it. Thanks.
Takes courage to go back for something you lost. I wouldn't have it in me.
Get some rest. Sleep is good for the soul. I wanted to say, for all of its imperfections, Fior Messiverno deserves a second chance. Thanks to you, it has one. I won't forget it. No need to question it anymore. They've made their intentions clear. Just to be safe, we should remain vigilant. Sleep in shifts. Look after each other. Rest while you can. Our enemies are organized, but so are we.
Let's get some rest. We have a long day ahead of us. Right. Give me a minute. There's a lot going on right now. I do. I'm just not sure that's where we need to go. Growing up, I heard stories of a garden in the center of the living lands. I thought they were just stories. No one living had ever gone there, but we were just supposed to protect it. It's why Solace was founded. They patrol Galawain's tusks looking for threats to the garden. We usually just found Zarups and dead kith. Nandru's the only one who went to the garden and made it back, which is interesting because you kind of look like him. Founder of Solace, lived centuries ago. More or less the biggest hero in Galawain's tusks. You have the same kind of face things, from what I've seen. You know, the, fungus stuff. Maybe. I mean, yes. There's a resemblance, sure. But no one alive has ever seen Nandru other than a few statues and descriptions and legends. And we're talking about oral legends, passed down for centuries. Who knows what's true and what's dramatic license? I guess. I wouldn't put too much faith in it. There's just a lot of stuff from the old times that isn't as true as we think it is. A lot changes here over centuries. Like the garden. Even if someone knew how to get there, they knew it hundreds of years ago. Who knows if the garden even exists anymore? I don't. You seem to talk to Sappadal in dreams and visions. Maybe you can find something that way. Look, this gods and magic stuff isn't my expertise. Come find me when you need an antivenom for a windsnake bite. I need to get some rest before I get all worked up. Grab me when you're ready to go. I need to go hunting. I hope you like roasted snake. Right. What do you need? They say this used to all be underwater until something happened that cracked open the ground and swallowed the seas. Makes sense to me. If you dig far enough, you'll find strange things like old fish bones that don't make sense in a place like this. I think that's why Thirdborn appeals to the Rowatayans so much. Like there's an ancestral connection with what the land used to be. Or maybe they just like fishing off the coast. What do I know? Let's see. Shatterscarp doesn't want to kill you, really, but it isn't interested in helping you survive either. The key here is water and shade. Cover your skin, or it'll be dried out in no time and you'll be as red as a Balrog's throat. You might be worried about saving water, but what you want to do is try not to sweat. Stay in shade as much as you can. And don't drink the water from the plants out here. They're all full of parasites and poisons. Getting sick out here is the worst. What else is there? No idea. What you see out there is what you get. Right, changing the subject. Right. I'm sure you'll find it absolutely gripping. Go ahead. I'll tell you whatever you want to know. As you know, it's a blessed miracle. Honestly, tell him I... Thanks for talking.
Hey, I wanted to talk to you about what happened in Emerald Stair. I know your Emperor sent you here to represent Adir. With the Steel Garrote trying to raise Fjord has got to make things harder for you. You saved lives. Of course that counts. But that doesn't make it easy. The cruelty behind the Steel Garrote's plans. It's hard to reconcile that with the place you've called home. I just wanted to know how you're feeling about all this. Give yourself time. You're the only one who can make that decision. And you're the one who'll have to live with it. Anyway, I just wanted to check in with you. This may be your burden, but you don't have to carry it alone. What's on your mind? A marker of his service to Thirdborn's defense, and something that helps his comrades identify his remains, if needed.
You always hope it won't come to that.
You hope it won't, but you know it might. It's an old Rowatayan naval tradition that Thirdborn's kept alive, and another debt I owe him. Where to start? It's a huge desert full of sandy wastes, canyons, and highlands. On a clear day, you can stand at one of the overlooks to gaze straight across the great sand sea and see no end to the dunes. Yeah, it's dangerous and stark. A lot like Rawatai, but in a different way. Sandstorms instead of typhoons. Guess that's part of what I liked about it. Familiar, but different. The story goes that a lot of the first arrivals were Rowatayans without other prospects. Too low on the ladder to take over the family trade, too poor to learn another. Exactly. Rowatai's an inhospitable environment, to say the least, so my people have a proud tradition of seeking our fortunes elsewhere. Rawatai's got a big navy that always needs fresh blood, and there are plenty of opportunities for large, colorful mercenaries and bodyguards all over Aora. You got it. It's hard to say when Thirdborn was properly founded. It started as a convenient harbor for pirates and mercs to lie low. Bold, or desperate, fishing crews from Rawatai would follow seasonal catches out here. Over time, those early arrivals built huts, a proper harbor, and walls to protect them from all the hungry things in the desert. Well, that brought in a steady trickle of veterans, ruffians, trophy hunters, and rugged eccentrics. People looking for fresh adventure, or running from the consequences of their old ones. Bit of both, I guess. Good thing you're asking the expert. You've heard everything I have to say about our crew. Sure. What's on your mind? I can take watch. I'll be up a while anyway. Look at those stars. They always seem brighter out here. Should I break out the booze? I'll tell you what I can. So did my commanding officers. Get some rest, envoy.
Whew, the heat is brutal. How do people live like this? Go on then. Distract me. I'm afraid not. I've spent a little time in Dawnshore, but this place is a mystery to me. It's good to be somewhere different. Somewhere I can build new memories. Whenever I'm reminded of how big this island really is, it makes my problems feel smaller. For you, anything. I've spilled all the gossip I know. Ask me again when there's a new face in camp. You know me, always ready with an answer. Go on then. Don't... Until next time.
I have a right. Right, Chief. Right. Go ahead. It's a blessed miracle. Honest. Tell him I said that. Until next time.
I hope Thirdborn is a good community for my people. They've been through a lot.
Thirdborn's rough around the edges, but it's full of good people. They'll have your back when you need it.
Survivors, in other words. In that case, maybe your kin are a good match for mine.